This man was rejected, underestimated, and told he wasn't good enough. He struggled to read scripts. He had no backup plan. Yet today, the world calls him a legend. Tom Cruise didn't become great because life was easy. He became great because he refused to quit. And the truth behind his success will change how you see your own struggle. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Dive into what really happened. This was never luck. This was never coincidence. And this was definitely not an overnight success. When people hear the name Tom Cruise, they instantly imagine red carpets, flashing cameras, billion-dollar box office numbers, and death-defying stunts that leave audiences breathless. They see the charm, the confidence, and the endless energy of a man who looks like he was born for greatness. To the world, his success appears effortless, almost magical. But what most people never see is the long, painful road that came before the applause. They don't see the years of uncertainty, the silent struggles, and the moments when giving up would have been the easiest choice. The legend we admire today was shaped in isolation, far away from fame, when no one was cheering and no one was certain he would succeed. Tom Cruise didn't wake up one morning and suddenly become a superstar. There was no shortcut, no miracle, and no lucky break that changed everything overnight. His success was built slowly, painfully, and deliberately. Step by step, failure by failure. Every achievement you see today is the result of countless small decisions he made when no one was watching, when no one believed, and when the future felt completely uncertain. He chose to keep going when rejection became routine. He chose discipline when comfort was tempting. He chose belief when doubt surrounded him. Behind the scenes, while others relied on talent or luck, Tom relied on work ethic. He prepared when others rested. He trained when others celebrated. He pushed himself harder, not because it was easy, but because he understood one powerful truth. Greatness demands a price long before it gives rewards. This is why his journey matters. Because it proves that success is not reserved for the lucky few. It is earned by those who are willing to suffer quietly, to stay focused when results are invisible, and to keep showing up even when progress feels slow. This is not just the story of a Hollywood actor who made it big. This is the story of relentless belief, unshakable discipline, and lifelong sacrifice. And it all began long before the world knew his name. Tom Cruise was born into a life that looked nothing like the glamorous world he would later dominate. His childhood was unstable, uncertain, and emotionally demanding. Home was not a place of comfort or security. His family moved constantly, forcing him to start over again and again. New cities, new schools, new faces. By the time he grew up, he had attended more than a dozen schools, never staying long enough to feel settled or truly accepted. On top of that instability, Tom faced a challenge that made everyday life even harder: dyslexia. Reading was slow, frustrating, and exhausting. Studying felt like a battle. Simple tasks that came easily to others required intense effort from him. In classrooms, he often felt left behind, misunderstood, and discouraged. At school, Tom was not labeled as special or gifted. He wasn't the smartest student. He wasn't the most confident. Teachers didn't predict greatness. Classmates didn't see a future star. In fact, many people around him quietly believed he wouldn't amount to much at all. Some thought he would fail completely, trapped by circumstances he couldn't control. For a period of time, his future felt so uncertain that Tom considered becoming a priest. Yes, a priest, not an actor, not a movie star. That single thought alone shows how unclear his path was. There was no master plan, no guarantee of success, and no clear dream guiding him forward. But deep inside him, something refused to stay silent. There was a small but powerful fire within him, a quiet inner voice that whispered, "I want more from life. Not more comfort, not more security, but more meaning, more purpose." That turning point came in high school, when Tom discovered acting. For the first time he felt truly alive. Acting allowed him to express emotions he had buried for years. On stage, his struggles no longer held him back, they fueled him. His learning difficulties didn't disappear, but they no longer defined him. Acting gave him direction when everything else felt uncertain. It gave him confidence when self-doubt had followed him for years. And most importantly, it gave him a reason to believe in himself. So Tom made a bold and terrifying decision. He chose to give everything to acting, even if it meant rejection, failure, or disappointment. He chose the risk of chasing a dream over the safety of settling for less. And that decision changed his life forever. When Tom Cruise arrived in Hollywood, the dream quickly collided with reality. The city that promises fame also delivers rejection, and Tom faced plenty of it. Auditions ended in silence. Doors closed without explanation. He didn't have powerful connections, famous relatives, or an easy path into the industry. To many casting directors, he wasn't the obvious choice. Some didn't take him seriously at all. Rejection became routine, but quitting never did. And this is where Tom Cruise was different from most people who chased the same dream. He never treated acting like a hobby. He never treated it like a backup plan. He treated it like a mission, something he was willing to give his entire life to. While others waited for opportunities, Tom prepared for them. He studied acting with intense focus. Despite dyslexia, he worked tirelessly to memorize scripts, repeating lines again and again until they became part of him. What was difficult for him, he refused to let become an excuse. Instead, he turned effort into his advantage. Tom showed up early to sets and stayed long after others left. Even when he was given small roles most actors would ignore, he gave 100%. He performed with the same intensity whether the spotlight was big or small. That level of commitment didn't go unnoticed. Directors began to see something rare in him: hunger. Not hunger for fame, but hunger to improve. Hunger to prove himself. Hunger to become great. His breakthrough finally came with films like Risky Business and Top Gun. Almost overnight, the world noticed him. He became a household name. Posters, interviews, and applause followed wherever he went. But Tom didn't slow down. While others celebrated success, he doubled his efforts. While others relied on fame, Tom relied on preparation. He trained his body to handle demanding roles. He sharpened his voice, his expressions, and his presence. He studied filmmakers, learned from mistakes, and listened closely to criticism instead of running from it. Every failure became a lesson. Every setback became fuel. This was not obsession driven by ego or attention. This was obsession driven by excellence. Tom Cruise understood something most people never realize. Success can disappear as fast as it arrives if you stop earning it. So he never stopped working. And that relentless hustle is what transformed him, not just into a star, but into a legend. Tom Cruise became a household name, a symbol of fame and success. But unlike many stars who settle into comfort once recognition arrives, Tom refused to slow down. For him, fame was never a destination. It was a responsibility, a challenge, and a constant test of his limits. He began taking risks that no one else dared to attempt. While most actors relied on stunt doubles, Tom insisted on performing his own stunts. He hung from airplanes mid-flight. He jumped off skyscrapers. He ran across moving vehicles. He dove into situations that most people would consider life-threatening. And he did it not for ego or attention, but for authenticity. He wanted audiences to feel the story in the most real way possible, to be fully immersed, and to believe every moment of danger they saw on screen. Of course, people tried to stop him. Studios worried about liability. Doctors warned him of serious injury. Friends questioned whether the risks were worth it. But Tom lived by a simple, powerful principle. If I ask the audience to believe the story, I must give them my absolute best. That principle extended far beyond stunts. Tom also made bold career choices that few would dare to attempt. He accepted challenging roles that pushed his acting skills to the limit. He took creative control over projects, sometimes even clashing with directors or studios to protect the vision of the story. Some films succeeded, others didn't. But he never chose the easy path. He never opted for comfort or security over growth and authenticity. Behind the camera, his standards were nothing short of extreme. He demanded discipline from himself first, but also from everyone he worked with. On his sets, every detail mattered: the lighting, the dialogue, the physicality of a scene. This relentless pursuit of excellence is why his films feel intense, real, and unforgettable. Legendary success does not come from resting on your achievements. It does not come from popularity or luck. It comes from courage. The courage to take risks, the courage to challenge the norms, and the courage to endure criticism. And it comes from consistency, the determination to maintain the highest standards, day after day, scene after scene, performance after performance. Tom Cruise's story shows that greatness is not about avoiding danger or seeking comfort. It is about stepping into the unknown, trusting your abilities, and committing fully to excellence, even when no one else understands your choices. This combination of fearless decisions and impossible standards is what transformed a talented actor into a true cinematic legend. Tom Cruise didn't become a legend by accident. Every film, every performance, every stunt was the result of years of dedication, struggle, and relentless effort. His story is not just about Hollywood fame. It's a blueprint for anyone who dreams of achieving something extraordinary. He became a legend because he believed when no one else did. When teachers, friends, and even family doubted him, he refused to let their opinions define his future. Belief was not passive for him. It was an active, daily decision to keep moving forward despite uncertainty and fear. He became a legend because he worked when others quit. Every rejection, every small role, every failure was fuel for improvement. While many would have given up, he doubled down, pushing harder and preparing more. His work ethic set him apart, proving that natural talent alone is never enough. True greatness requires effort that exceeds what anyone else is willing to do. He became a legend because he risked comfort for greatness. Most people settle for safety, for the predictable, for what feels easy. Tom chose the opposite. He chose dangerous stunts, challenging roles, and career paths that had no guaranteed outcome. Comfort never shaped him. Risk and courage did. He became a legend because he turned weakness into strength. Dyslexia, constant moves, and early life instability could have held him back. Instead, he used those struggles to cultivate resilience, determination, and empathy. His obstacles became the foundation of his extraordinary drive, teaching him lessons that talent alone could never provide. The most important lesson from Tom Cruise's journey is simple. You don't need perfect beginnings, instant talent, or a life without challenges. What you need is commitment, discipline, and belief. Every time you doubt yourself, remember this. Tom Cruise once struggled to read scripts. He once faced constant rejection. He once had no clear path or certainty about his future. Yet he refused to stop. He refused to let circumstances define him. And that refusal, that unbreakable determination, is the true secret behind his success. Success is not about fame. It is not about luck. It is about consistently making the choice to keep going, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself beyond limits. So, if you're chasing a dream today, remember this. Legends are not born. They are built. One hard decision at a time, one obstacle at a time, one day at a time. What Tom Cruise achieved on the screen is possible for anyone willing to put in the work, stay disciplined, and never stop believing in themselves.